Today, let us study about the important theory of wages, that is, subsistence theory of wages. This theory was propounded by David Ricardo and Malthus. According to this theory, the laborers are paid to enable them to subsist and perpetuate the race without increase or diminution, which means that the laborers are given the subsistence, that is the minimum wages which are essential for their survival and their physical existence. This payment is also called as subsistence wages. Wages of a worker is only that much so that he can fulfill the minimum needs of his family. In short period, wages may be greater or lesser than the subsistence level, but in the long period it would be exactly equal to the subsistence level. The basic assumption of this theory is that if workers are paid wages more than subsistence level, workers' number will increase, and as a result, wages will come down to the subsistence level. If the wages are increased, then automatically they are going to bear more children. If they are going to bear more children, then the supply of labor will increase. If the supply of labor increases, then the wage rate comes down. So the subsistence level of wages, that is increasing or decreasing, is not considered in this theory. This theory was first propounded by French economist Turgot in 18th century. It was called as natural law of wages. Later on, this theory was developed and improved upon by the German economist Lysel, called it as the iron law of wages or the Bronze law of wages. Ricardo and Malthus also contributed to the theory of wages. Karl Marx made it the basis of his theory of exploitation. This can be explained with the help of a diagram. We can see that in the diagram, the quantity of labor has been measured on x-axis and the wage rate on y-axis. Now, the OW is the subsistence wages. At OW wage rate, supply of labor is perfectly elastic. Since supply of labor is perfectly elastic, wage rate neither can fall below OW nor can increase above the level of OW. Although demand increase from DD to DD1, yet the wage rate remains the same at OW. On the contrary, if workers are paid less than subsistence wages, the number of workers will decrease as a result of starvation, death, malnutrition, disease, etc. and many would not marry. Then wage rate would again go up to subsistence level. Since wage rate to be at a subsistence level at all cases, that is why this theory is also known as iron law of wages. Thus, the subsistence wages refers to the minimum wages which a laborer gets to survive or for his physical existence. Now, this theory has been propounded on some assumptions. The assumptions are that the population increases at a faster rate, and the second assumption is that it refers to the long term, and the third assumption is that the food production is on the basis of the diminishing return. Now, after referring to the subsistence wage rate, now this theory has also been criticized by many economists. And some of the main criticisms are, we may call it as a defects of the subsistence theory, are as utter. Number one, it is termed to be the one-sided theory. This theory examines the wage determination from the side of supply and ignores the demand side. We have studied in the theory that only the supply of labor, we have studied that the supply of labor may increase with the increase in the some wage rate and decrease in the wage rate. But we have ignored that. This theory has ignored the demand side of the laborer. And this theory has been also criticized on the ground that it is termed to be the pessimistic. The subsistence theory of wages is highly pessimistic for the working class. It presents a dark picture of the future of the society. It focuses on the matter that only the laborers have to get only the subsistence wage, and the increase in wage or decrease in wage doesn't apply to this. Now, the third criticism is that it is termed to be that long period. This theory is based on the assumption of a long term. It does not explain the determination of wages at a particular period of time. Now, the fourth criticism faced by this theory is that unreasonable assumptions. The three assumptions which we have studied there are termed to be the unreasonable. This theory states that the population increases if wage is higher than subsistence level and population decreases if wages is lesser than subsistence level. This is criticized on the ground that increasing wages leads to improvisation of standard of living, upgradation of education, small family preference by educated people. Here, it is not necessary that population is increased by increase in wages. So this theory has been criticized on these grounds that this theory is not considered to be exact. Thank you.